And welcome to Crisler Arena on the campus of the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. Third game of our triple header on CBS. The #1 team in the nation, the Ohio State Buckeyes, in their scarlet red. Michigan on senior day. 4 seniors in the starting lineup, and the last game of the regular season in the bright yellow. 3-0. Deion Harris, leading scorer for Michigan, hit a 3 for the first points of the game. Ivan Harris up with a 17-footer off the mark, and Jared Smith rebounds. Dick Enberg with Dan Bonner here at Michigan. Abram from long pass. He is fouled. Here's a look at the starting lineups for the Buckeyes. The freshman Mike Conley had 23 in the first game, a win over Michigan. Lewis, Butler, Harris, and the sensational 7-footer Greg Oden. Michigan with Harris, Smith, Abram, Petway, and Sims. Only Smith, an underclassman, in the starting lineup for Coach Tommy Amaker of Michigan. Abram, one of 3 left-handers that start for Michigan today. Foul was on Ivan Harris of Ohio State. We're only a minute and a half into the game, and Harris already sits down with 2 fouls. Replaced by Othello Hunter, the 6'9" junior from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Abram, excellent free throw shooter, gives Michigan
And Dick, one of the first things that Michigan State had to do was get out early, and they've done that. You don't want to dig yourself a big hole. Man-to-man defense.
This is Conley. Had the winner last week against Wisconsin. Oden able to scrape up the mistake. One of the players losing a shoe in the corner. Not there for Conley, and here comes Michigan. Abram with a rebound. They'll call time here as number 1, Jared Smith of Michigan, threw a shoe there on the sidelines.
Game, Dick. Michigan at 8-7 in the Big Ten, 20-10 overall. It's a very, very important game for him, and the shoe just goes bouncing off. You see Jared Smith, he's in the game. He's not worried about putting it back on. He throws it out of the way.
It's a huge game for Michigan, and not only because the seniors in final regular season, but they're playing against their long-standing rivals from Ohio State, now the #1 team in the nation. And more importantly, they, a week from tomorrow, want to be selected, not rejected. Have been for 10 years out of the NCAA Big Dance.
Looking at an Ohio State zone right at the moment.
Smith inside, gets it stripped away. Here comes Conley for Ohio State. Look at the big man run. That's Othello Hunter at 6'9". He's complimented the great play of the freshman Greg Oden inside, and a hold against Ohio State.
Ohio State is really able to get out and run. Their big guys really can go, and this is Othello Hunter. He's in the game because Ivan Harris has 2 personal fouls, but did you see Mike Conley in the middle there? Very relaxed, very fluid, making the easy pass.
And it was Conley, Dan Bonner, with the foul on that last play, his first. 5-2, Michigan with the ball in the lead, and a turnover, and Michigan does not protect the ball as well as Ohio State, and Conley has been sensational in that regard for Thad Matta, who played his college ball at Butler, has coached there at his alma mater, as well as Xavier, and now at Ohio State every year, a 20-win season for him at age.
And a man for the Wolverines.
Conley really take the ball in. Here's Oden's first major touch. He powers his way in, and that's going to be against Ohio State. A foul on Oden.
Greg Oden is the guy who does not experience very many double teams. The other teams are afraid because Ohio State shoots so well from 3, but he just put his shoulder down and moved him out.
Oden sends the Buckeyes to the other end.
That's almost like a blocked shot.
Lewis batted out, and Ohio State gets a second chance. Butler unable to connect. Back to Ohio State. 3 times the charm. Butler for 3 to tie it. Jamar Butler, how unselfish is he? Here he's the point guard last year. 3rd string All Big Ten as the Ohio State Buckeyes win the title, and he's taken a back seat to the freshman compliment in the backcourt.
Still has 100 assists. He's a tremendous 3-point shooter. There's Jared Smith knocks down a 3.
Smith, who has started the last 5 games for Michigan, and he's really picked up the offense for the Wolverines.
When Smith is playing point guard, that allows Deion Harris the freedom to roam around and look for his shot.
Conley for 2. He has his first points. 8-7 Michigan.
Conley shoots almost 60% on the season from inside the arc. Dick, he's a guy that really knows and convert when he gets it.
Here's Deion Harris, number 5, averaging 13.5 a game to lead the Wolverines.
Boy, we've seen this Ohio State zone a couple of possessions in a row now.
And the foul, and it may be against Oden along the baseline. We'll check when we return to Crisler Arena at Michigan. 8-7 Wolverines.
This can help protect you during an accident. We prefer to help you avoid one altogether. The 2008 Lexus RX with 14 actively safe features.
I can feel a change a-coming, start anew. Change a change will do you good.
Michelob Light, crafted with noble European aroma hops. As distinctive as the bottle itself. Michelob Light, distinct by design.
So where do you think you're going?
Scottsdale. Des Moines?
Wait a minute, you're not Wade? You don't know your postage? Sit tight, you are not going anywhere.
We're flat rate boxes.
That stuff's already figured out, Pops.
Yeah.
Oh, so you think that you could sit there and expect the mail lady to waltz in here and whisk you away like... Oh,
Yep.
Yeah, that's how it works.
punks.
Free package pickup, now even more convenient with easy-to-use flat-rate boxes.
Singular Wireless are proud to present this great NCAA championship moment.
Mopeet to Bell, Flint to Flint, and one. And you can leave it to Cleves. He has reinstated the magic at Michigan State.
Get more historic NCAA tournament highlights and exclusive video of the 2007 Men's and Women's NCAA Basketball Championship on your mobile phone. Available only on your AT&T or Singular Wireless phone. Singular is now the new AT&T.
4.5 minutes in, it's Michigan by 1. Dan Bonner, final game of the regular season. The Buckeyes #1 in AP, first time since the days of Havlicek and Lucas back in 1962, but it's even bigger for Michigan today.
Michigan looking for a bid to the NCAA tournament. It's something they haven't received in a while, and they really feel as if they can win this game today. They will have a pretty good shot at that bid. Very important for Tommy Amaker. He's never been to the NCAA tournament as the head coach at Michigan.
Has won the NIT and a finalist last year in the NIT, but these Michigan fans are hungry for their opportunity to the tournament. Michigan leading by 1, and Deion Harris will trigger in the inbounds pass. The foul was on Othello Hunter. That gives Buckeyes 5 fouls here in the early going. Only 1 for Michigan, and left open is Jarrett Smith. He walks in for the layup.
Boy, just a screen out on the top, and Ohio State did not handle it very well. And with Cook out of the, or excuse me, with Odom out of the game.
Look at Petway get up. Air Georgia. He was flying. Look at that hairdo. He's got the Michigan football helmet going for him. The winged look.
Well, here you can see just no help on the screen by Ohio State, and then Butler takes the ball to the basket, and here comes Petway. That's what he's famous for around here, those blocked shots and dunks.
Has 47 blocks on the season, and away from the ball, the foul. This one's going to go against Lester Abram, his first. The look of Petway, he does something special with his hairstyle most every game, and then is giving it that Michigan football look. Oh, nicely done as Othello Hunter up with the one hand to wrap home his 4th point.
Now remember, Oden is on the bench right at the moment, but he got in foul trouble the first time these two teams played, and Terwilliger and Hunter came off the bench and really did a great job inside for the Buckeyes.
Another freshman from that Thad 5, David Lighty, number 23, and Daquan Cook, 31, are on the floor. As both Conley and Oden sit down for Ivan Harris, who had 2 fouls in the first 90 seconds.
Ohio State stays in that 2-3 zone. Michigan has not really attacked it well.
Harris had to force a shot, 3 seconds on the clock. And here come the Buckeyes with a chance for their first lead of the game. Terwilliger from three-point range.
Hesitated much too long. He's either got to take that one right away or pass it to somebody.
Rebound by Epe Udo, the 6'10 freshman from Edmond, Oklahoma. This is
now Ohio State back to the man-to-man.
Good double team on the ball. Pressure by David Lady, whose strength is on defense. This is Udo. A little uncertain. Gets the ball on the floor well, though. And out of bounds to Ohio State.
Dick, Michigan, after starting out with a 5-0 lead, has struggled against an Ohio State zone. There you get to see Greg Oden. He picked up one foul in the game, and he's on the bench right at the moment. Michigan stays in the man-to-man.
Ohio State going small with this 5-man lineup. Here's Daquan Cook, the freshman. Terwilliger misses the tap, and it's Udo with the rebound.
Michigan State not really looking to run the ball up the court except if they have the perfect opportunity.
Harris from three. And that might be over the back on Abram. He was on the shoulder, and Abram picks up another foul. That's going to be his second. So you can run your brackets online free with Braxline. Invite your friends. Fill out a bracket. Sign up now at cbssportsline.com/brackets.
I would recommend, though, Dick, you not fill out those brackets until next Sunday.
That's good. Boy, there are some tough decisions to be made. It's fun watching all the various networks prognosticate on who's in, who's out. You get dizzy trying to follow the whole scheme.
You do get dizzy, Dick, and they've been doing it since November.
In the corner is Cook, a good three-point shooter. And a nice rebound by Hunter. What a pickup he was out of junior college. Open underneath is knocked down. Ron Lewis unable to score as he was belted by the Michigan player Deshaun Sims, a freshman.
Lewis is a guy, he's the senior, does a great job inside. He jumps very, very well, is a strong kid, really can get to the free throw line, and that's an example why he's the #2 guy on the Ohio State team in free throws attempted.
Ron Lewis has his first point of the game, and of course he made a point a week ago against Wisconsin when he blocked the final shot. Terrific one-point win you saw here on CBS. And that gives Ohio State its first lead of the game at 11-10.
And that allows them to set their 2-2-1 pressure.
Ooh, dangerous. Terwilliger flying in front of that pass. Harris loses the ball. Hunter picks it up. Terrific position. The big man hustling down court. And he gives the Buckeyes a 3-point lead. 6 points for Hunter off the bench.
That was a great job by Ohio State getting down in transition. Can't turn it over against the Buckeyes. They'll take it right back at you very quickly.
Back into his own defense, Ohio State.
Their normal defense is a man-to-man, but the zone has worked very, very well for them. There's another Michigan turnover.
Well, should Michigan get into the tournament? They've won 8-7 in the Big Ten, 48 RPI. Many thought after they had that slump in midseason when they lost 4 in a row, the last being to Iowa, that it was all over, and maybe all over for Tommy Amaker. Some of the local papers in Detroit and Ann Arbor saying that it'd take a miracle for Amaker to be around. Well, maybe this game is the miracle.
This game certainly presents an opportunity and will be a great win for Michigan. You look there, no signature wins, particularly on the road for the Wolverines.
Inside to Courtney Sims, and the senior from Boston has his first hoop. Sims at 6'11", the tallest of the Wolverines.
Man-to-man defense. Remember, Oden again is on the bench.
Oh, and a steal by Smith.
Conley wasn't looking for it.
And he takes it coast to coast and is fouled. Oh, with 11:08, we have a timeout. Ohio State running the court, takes the lead. Michigan will be one when we return.
We represent the Coke brand, and we would love to somehow bring some kind of legal action against Coke Zero.
There might be some taste infringement issues.
Oh, so you're worried about
I think it's basic taste infringement. I'd like to stick with that phrase because that sounds really good to me.
It's not a claim.
It's not a claim. Could we sue them just to get it into court to just humiliate these people?
You'll be humiliated and you'll get fired.
Humiliated and fired.
You'll get fired.
I don't want that.
Da, 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 da.
The only button ignition, intelligent key, and available real-time traffic updates. Luxuries once reserved for the few are now available to everyone. Yep, it's that good. The next generation Nissan Altima is here.
You've got one on your tail.
They gaming on me?
Not a chance. Isn't Esurance one of the fastest growing auto insurance companies in America?
You bet, thousands every week.
So why does Esurance cruise past the competition?
With some of the fastest quotes on the web, Esurance makes auto insurance easy.
And you can print your insurance cards instantly.
Quote by print.
Finish line.
If you're on the go, you've got to have Esurance.
Get your fast free auto insurance quote. Visit Esurance.com today.
For those in the academic, medical, cultural, and research fields beginning to think about their financial future, we're TIAA CREF. We have more than 85 years expertise building retirement. Let our experience and personalized, objective advice help you meet your retirement goals, starting today. TIAA CREF, financial services for the greater good.
CBS Sports College basketball coverage is sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings. You have to be here. Lexus and their pursuit of perfection. And by Vonage, a better way to phone for less. Sold out your old facility, 13,700 plus. See the Michigan Wolverines and Ohio State Buckeyes. I think they could play tiddlywinks and they get sell out when these two schools go at it. There's not a lot of love between the borders of Michigan and Ohio. A lot of love for this man back in Columbus, Greg Oden. He returns to the lineup.
Jared Smith, you mentioned earlier, the Michigan point guard. This young man, this is his 5th consecutive game as the starter at point guard. And he has played very well. He's allowed Deion Harris the freedom to roam around and look for his shot. The one criticism, sometimes he gets a little bit out of control, but we haven't seen that so far today.
And he gives Michigan the lead at 14-13. He leads the Wolverines with 7. He's doubled his average since he became a starter. He was under 5 off the bench, and he's nearly a 10-point average in these last 5 games. Harris back into the lineup, feeds it to Oden. Sims on Oden, the big man with that jump hook, and he's deadly when you let him that close to the hoop.
He does a great job getting position, 2 steps closer to the hoop with the dribble, and unless you're going to double team him, Dick, I just don't think there's anything that can be done to stop him. He may miss that shot, but he's going to get it.
And after that wrist surgery in June, and he missed some 7-8 games at the start of the year. Ron Coleman just into the game. Didn't take him long to get in the book. Coleman gives Michigan the lead once again.
Boy, Oden is in the lane. Now he's got to step out every time down the court.
Daquan Cook, he likes that outside jumper. Takes it inside with a runner. And Sims clears for the Wolverines.
State switches defenses again. They're back to the man-to-man.
Petway, the lefty, 18-15 for the Maize and Blue. His first points.
You won't see Petway shooting any jump shots, Dick, but down around the basket, he's got a lot of post moves. He is a great leaper.
Harrison Lewis outside, now to Cook, looking for Oden. Sims trying to keep him out of the box, and the whistle will go against Courtney Sims of Michigan. His first foul. Well, tomorrow on CBS, Whitewater Challenge takes the game to the highest level of danger yet. A new Amazing Race All-Stars tomorrow on CBS. Check that on Sims. That's his second foul. And he will go to the bench. Tommy Amick gives him a seat. That may be his duties for this first half. We've got 9:21 left before the intermission. Long bomb by Butler. Way. Boy, does he have spring.
Excellent blockout. Excellent blockout. You've got to keep the Buckeyes off the board.
And a foul off the dribble. Let's see who that's on. I believe on Connolly, just back into the game. And his second. And that's the 7-8. So from now on, the Wolverines will go to the charity line.
And well, that's Harris is an excellent free throw shooter, almost 86%.
And unable to connect as ball taken down by Lighty. 3-point deficit. Ohio State. Oden can't handle the high pass. Seemed to surprise him. Harris streaking into the offensive end. And that's Javon Shepard, the sophomore, first bucket.
Michigan doing a great job getting the ball to the basket. Most teams don't get it that close against Ohio State because of the presence of Oden.
And Oden inside with the left hand. And, of course, he had the surgery on the right wrist and has used the left hand, practiced the left hand. He's been shooting free throws with the left hand. But not today. He's going to go back to his dominant side. The foul was on Udo, his first.
Saw the Michigan fast break, and now Udo is just not to keep Oden away from the basket.
Now this is a good sign for Buckeye fans. Oden now using his right hand, which means not that he's going to be that much better as a free throw shooter, but the fact that he's now got both hands, he feels there's no pain, and he's going to be a double threat. How do you stop this big guy?
Well, certainly not by putting him on the free throw line, although he missed that one. But he's ruined it for everybody who claims they can't make free throws. This is a young man who's right-handed, started shooting left-handed free throws in August, and made 62% against the highest competition in college basketball.
That's startling. Down to 7-6. Side, it'll go against Butler of Ohio State. That's his first.
Ohio State foul, number 14, Jamar Butler. That's his first teammate.
Terwilliger and Hunter return for Ohio State. Oden will be rested along with Ivan Harris. Here's Deion Harris, senior from Redford High in Detroit. Mr. Michigan basketball as a senior in 2003. I thought he was the second best shooter in the Midwest to a kid named LeBron James in high school.
The way Harris scores, particularly recently, has had a lot to do with whether Michigan wins or loses. They've won 4 of their last 6, and in those wins, this guy scored more than 20 points a game. In their losses, he's averaged 8 points a game, so he's got to get on the board.
There's his 5th today to match the number on his maize and blue uniform. 5-point lead, Michigan. Shepard in just briefly. He is rested.
Been very aggressive thus far in the man-to-man defense.
And it's reflected in the Buckeyes outside shooting. They're 1 for 6 from outside the arc. Now 1 for 7. Lewis missing that one.
Nice pass.
Petway open for a 12-footer and way off the mark.
Well, that's a little bit out of his range. The 2-footer is much more his style.
Clearing out to Butler. He fires the tray. Can he save it? No. And it's been remaining in this first half at the University of Michigan. The Wolverines by 5.
Here's a question. What do you like best about being up here?
Well, that's easy. I love the view. I love seeing all the places people had to go. I love being part of the company that helps those people get there. Who put the tires on every major NASCAR champion for the past 25 years? Our guys. Who put the first tires on the moon? Our guys. Our guys developed a Goodyear triple tread tire with 3 different tread zones. We said if the road wants to play rough, we're putting the strength of Kevlar in every silent armor tire. I love the fact that we are up here looking out over everyone down there. Kind of like angels, but instead of wings, we got a blimp. What about you? What do you like best?
I like seeing all the games. And all that stuff you said, too.
Innovative thinking up here so you can get there. Goodyear. Get there.
Listerine Whitening. Its bubbles make whitening easy. Simply swish and Listerine Whitening's dynamic foam bursts into action. Really gets around teeth. Between. Behind. Easily reaches all your teeth. So whiter is easy. And it's Listerine Whitening, so it kills bad breath germs too. Simply swish, that's all, for a brighter, more confident smile. With Listerine Whitening Pre-Brush Rinse. Easy does it.
The safest accident is the one that never happens. The 2008 Lexus RX with 14 actively safe features. Learn more at activelysafe.com.
Highly spirited rivalry continuing here today. Michigan and Ohio State, and both clubs making 7 field goals, but Ohio State 7 for 20.
Ohio State, you notice they're 1 for 8 from three-point range, Dick, and one of the problems that I think the Buckeyes have sometimes is they sort of fall in love with that three-point shot. Now, they're an excellent three-point shooting team, but they're much better if they throw the ball inside first and then back out.
And Greg Oden is, and this has been typical too, he doesn't get many touches. He's had 2, and many folks around the state of Ohio feel, give him the big man the ball more, feed him. Michigan by 5, 7.5 minutes remaining in this opening half.
And with Oden back in the game, Dick, Ohio State drops back into that zone. They've had some success with this defense.
You're not going to see the ball go into the lane too much, although Harris does take it in here and uses the left hand. But that's what Oden does. He may not block every shot, but he makes you change direction or use a different hand.
You certainly know he's there.
Lewis slashes his way down the alley. Has 2 plus 1.
Ron Lewis is a guy, he's a great three-point shooter, so you have to respect that shot, but he also really likes to drive the ball to the basket. As we said before, he is a strong guy. He gets to the free throw line a lot, and he's a very solid free throw shooter.
Lewis will graduate later this month. Can't hit the free throw, so it remains 22-19. The foul was on Jarrett Smith, his first on the Lewis drive. Coleman and Harris now in the backcourt along with Jarrett Smith, a small Michigan lineup.
And you can't just throw the ball around the perimeter against this zone. You've got to get it inside, at least draw the attention, and then kick it back out. But the ball just can't go around.
8 seconds on the shot clock. 4 to shoot. And Harris held outside by Butler has been called for checking Harris on a drive. A reminder, stuck in the office and you can't get to a TV? Well, sign up for NCAA March Madness on demand. Watch the men's tournament online. Get a free pass now at ncaasports.com/Emma. M-O-D. Harris 1-1. Young guy born in Bavaria, Germany. Has a baby daughter last June. As Dan Bonner suggested, 86% on the season. Looking for his 7th point and gets it. 24-19 Michigan.
Dick, you know, you talked about Butler a little bit earlier for Ohio State. He was one of the top point guards in the Big Ten at the end of the season last year. Now you have Conley on the bench with foul trouble. Well, Butler can come in and do a pretty good job running that point. Michigan State now in the zone. Michigan, excuse me, in a zone. We're in the...
Cook. Right there.
Oh, what a rebound.
Oden, but then he loses it out of bounds. Last touch by Michigan. Speaking of those fouls, Conley has 2, Butler 2, Harris 2, and Hunter with a pair of fouls, all for Ohio State early.
Now, the Wolverines have done a pretty nice job attacking when they have the ball, particularly against that man-to-man defense. Two guys around Oden in this zone. That's one of the reasons why you play zone, but you got to watch the outside shooters.
And short was David Lighty. Here come the Wolverines. 1 for 10 now from outside the arc for Michigan. What a Ohio State. And a foul. That'll go against the big guy Oden. That'll give him 2. Reminder, Monday, Dave's in the audience, plus Jack Anna's Animals in a top 10 with Chris Monday on the Late Show. Oden with 2, so that's 5 Buckeyes strapped with 2 fouls in this first half. At the line, Brent Petway from McDonough, Georgia.
And thus far, the University of Michigan has shown no reluctance to take the ball inside. They've gotten a number of baskets in transition there. Oden going out of the game, as you mentioned, with his second personal foul. He was in foul trouble in the first. Ohio State still was able to come away with the win.
Petway 1 for 2, the son of the mom who's a Pentecostal minister. 25-19, Michigan's largest lead.
Now with Oden out, Michigan goes back to the man-to-man. I think we're going to get a foul on Coleman, hanging on to Daquan Cook.
First on Coleman. And for Michigan, 18 fouls. Here's Daquan Cook. Many are speculating as to whether the big man for Ohio State, Greg Oden, will just play 1 year at the collegiate level. And even this young guy has hinted that he might go to the professional ranks next year. Smith working the baseline. Can he fly?
They don't call him Air Georgia for nothing, and he really gets the crowd going with those dunks.
Well, it's still spring break here at the University of Michigan. Many students came back early just to cheer the Wolverines today.
Shift shock. The next Nissan Maxima with CVT, part of the next generation of Nissan thinking.
A dramatic Brent Petway slam gives Michigan an 8-point lead. That must have reminded you, Bonner, of your days at Virginia.
Well, I'll give away my age with Virginia, but Petway, Michigan was out long before the game, and this is what Brent Petway was practicing, much to the delight of this crowd. And that's what they expect. When they come to see the Wolverines play, they want to see Petway dunk it, and he hasn't disappointed today.
Michigan riding a 13-4 run. Cook forcing his way inside, gets it back, and is fouled.
Well, that's a break for Ohio State. Right at the moment, the Buckeyes doing too much of the basketball, particularly with Odom out of the game. They need to get better movement.
Javon Shepard has his first foul, and that sends Daquan Cook to the line. 6'5" freshman from Dayton, Ohio, one of 3 McDonald's All-Americas on Thad Matta's squad. That's his first point.
He started the season very quickly, but his numbers, Cook's that is, have really tailed off in Big Ten play. Cook shooting 10%, 5% lower from three-point range. His average is down by 3 points a game in Big Ten play. In fact, over his last 7 games, he's averaging only 7 points a game.
It's both free throws here. You saw Efe Udoh go out, and Deshaun Sims, a 6'8" freshman, number 4, into the Michigan lineup.
Ohio State coming with that pressure.
The key. They try to work their offense to free him. 3-pointers. Shepard backs up, but he was on the line for a 2. And it's Deshaun Sims unable to hit the follow. quite a skirmish underneath, and Shepard is fouled. Hunter was the man who raised his hands. If it was Othello Hunter, it's his third. It is. Next Sunday, who's in, who's out, who's playing whom and when. You'll find it all out on the NCAA Basketball Championship Selection Show next Sunday at 6 on CBS.
And if you're a fan of this game, that really is one of the highlights. You just get itchy waiting for those brackets to be announced. And Michigan hoping finally, after 10 years absence from the big tournament, that they'll be invited in. This game could be crucial to those hopes. Shepard has his third point. Ohio State's Thad Matta substituting freely, isn't he? And he trickles in his second.
One of the things I think he's concerned, find a lineup that'll outfight Michigan State. Up to this point, outfight Michigan. Up to this point, it's the Wolverines who've been out hustling and out scrapping Ohio State.
Big three from Ron Lewis, the senior from Columbus. He has 7 to lead the Buckeyes. Harris trying to answer with a 2.
Deion Harris very good off the dribble. That time he just dribbled between those 2 top guys on the zone and stuck it.
8 points for Harris to lead Michigan.
A nice job by Shepard to move his feet. Michigan's defense has been very aggressive.
Butler to Lighty. Now to Lewis with 8. Lewis way downtown. That was when Ypsilanti.
And that was with a hand in his face. That was just great offense. Not bad defense by the Wolverines.
State carving into that 8-point Michigan lead. Now to 4. Harris from way outside. Petway tried to keep it alive, but it's Butler the other way for the Scarlet and Gray. Lewis from 9 feet. 31-29.
That may be the best part of Lewis's game, that ability to get in there and get that mid-range jump shot.
Ron Lewis sparking the Buckeyes. He now has 12. Let's take a look now at our Applebee's neighborhood favorite. Ohio State won its only basketball national title, 1960. Final game, Buckeyes over California, 75-55. Ohio State, led by Jerry Lucas and John Havlicek, would go on to the finals the next 2 seasons, where they would lose to the University of Cincinnati and Ed Chucker's Bearcats. Ron Lewis shooting demonstration in the last 2 minutes.
Well, everybody talks about the freshman for Lewis is a senior. He's been making shots like this his entire time at Ohio State. The transfer from Bowling Green, but with a hand in his face, shooting the 3. Then once he establishes he can shoot that 3, you go flying at him. He gets into the lane and scores the mid-range jump shot.
Lewis growing up and went to high school in Columbus, then 2 years at Bowling Green, sat out a year, and now his second and final season with the Buckeyes. Scored the last 8 points for Ohio State to pull the nation's #1 team to within 2.
Smith with a lob. Petway feeds it off to the freshman Sims. And out of bounds to Wolver and Lewis, both reaching, and Michigan will get the ball with a timeout. 2:14 remaining in this opening half. Michigan 31, Ohio State 29.
Here's to men. To more time having fun and less time in the men's room. To guys who want to go less at night. And here's to Flomax. In 1 week, Flomax may relieve male urinary symptoms due to BPH, also called an enlarged prostate. Flomax may help symptoms like frequently waking up to go, going often, weak stream, in 1 week. Only your doctor can tell if you have BPH, not prostate cancer. Common side effects of Flomax are runny nose, dizziness, and decrease in semen. Upon standing, a sudden drop in blood resulting in fainting. So when starting Flomax, avoid situations where injury could result. If considering cataract surgery, tell your eye surgeon you've taken Flomax. Could you feel a difference in 1 week? Call 877-4FLOMAX and ask your doctor about Flomax. Flomax could make a difference in 1 week.
So I think the meeting went really well.
Great job, Abby.
I wish some of our managers worked as hard as you do.
Well, I guess you'll just have to promote me to manager then, huh? Oh, there's a new sheriff in town.
I understand that I have to work my way up, though.
Switch to the network with the fewest dropped calls. Now get an ultra-thin Samsung phone for only $19.99. Singular is now the new AT&T. Your world delivered.
You're watching NCAA college basketball on CBS.
Look out! What a finish! A tradition, Masters on CBS.
Catch every game of the first 3 rounds in their entirety with Mega March Madness as DirecTV supplements CBS's coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship.
Back at Michigan, a reminder, get more historic NCAA tournament highlights and exclusive video of the NCAA Basketball Championships on your mobile phone. Available only on your AT&T or Singular wireless phone. Singular is now the new AT&T. And Ron Lewis pulling the Buckeyes single-handedly here in the last couple of minutes with 8 straight points.
Even though the guys that you would expect to get the job done offensively for Ohio State, Oden and Conley, have not been factored. Ohio State has a lot of weapons. Lewis, one of 4 guys now who have made more than 100 field goals on the season for the Buckeyes.
Conley with 23 and Oden with 17 led the Buckeyes in their win in Columbus against Michigan. The mark, and here come the Buckeyes with a chance for a tie or the lead on a 3. Shows you how Thad Matta has a lot of depth on this Buckeye club. And those 2 freshman stars sitting a lot of this first half. But the Buckeyes holding their own.
And he's gone with a relatively small lineup as well, because Othello Hunter has 3 personal fouls and Ivan Harris has 2.
Foul will go against the man with the ball. Driving into the defense was freshman Daquan Cook. Lewis leads Ohio State with 12, Hunter with 6, Harris 9, and Smith with 7 top the Wolverines. Minute 20 seconds remaining in this opening half. Oden with only 4 points and Conley but 2 for the Buckeyes in this opening half. Picked up early fouls too, and Hunter now has
put him down again against this zone.
9 to 8. Harris, a long 3. Oh, he can drain it from out there. A big 3 from Harris, just as he hit one before the end of the half against Michigan State earlier this week in a key win for Michigan.
He is deadly, standing still from deep, deep range.
And a blocking foul is the call against Michigan's Jarrett Smith. At the half, joined Greg Gumbel and Seth Davis for all the scores and highlights. Greg and Seth will have all the top scores, and there are plenty of them, plus an AT&T Naismith Watch update, all coming up on AT&T at the half. Smith now with 2 fouls for Michigan, the point guard.
Now that ball went in the basket, and the officials are out there saying it's a 2-shot foul. So they're saying that it was a shot that was attempted before. So it was not a shooting foul. The foul occurred before the shot. So it's 10 fouls, though, against Michigan. So Lighty will still have 2.
Dave Lighty from Cleveland, freshman, averaging just under 4 a game, 70% from the line. That was his first point. And he bounces in the 2. 3-point Michigan lead. Final minute.
4 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
That's 5 seconds difference. So the Buckeyes will get another possession. Jarrett Smith looking back at Tommy Amaker. He says, take your time, chew up as much as you can.
Ohio State has played a lot of the zone in the first half, and so Michigan able to hold it on the outside on this possession.
And a walk against Harris. Ohio State with 9.8 seconds. Possible 3 to tie.
Back to the game now for your Wolverines. Number 15, Javon Shepard, replacing Jarrett Smith.
Ohio State has trailed but 2 times at the intermission all season long. They've lost only 3, all on the road. Butler forcing up a long bomb, unable to hit, and that's the end of the opening half. Harris with 12 to lead Michigan. Lewis counters with 12 for the Michigan. 34. Ohio State 31 at the intermission. We'll send you to Greg Gumbel in New York with AT&T in the half. After these messages, you're watching CBS Sports, home of the men's NCAA.
A lot of three-point shots. Michigan more the aggressor in terms of going to the baskets. Wolverines with some turnovers early. They cleaned that up. I think the big number right there is 1 assist for Conley. He's had 6 10-assist games this year. He only played 8 minutes in the half.
A reminder, this game by Harris Corporation, the world leader in broadcast systems for high-definition television and mobile media. Well, Conley, who has 1 assist today, is currently tied for the most assists in a season Ohio State history with Curtis Wilson, 188. Wilson back in 1988. And he starts the same starting 5 that opened the game for Ohio State and for Michigan. Inside to Greg Oden. That jump hook, and he's deadly.
He is deadly, and a nice job in the ball when there was nobody around to help out Sims. Boy, that was a quick shot.
And that gives Conley the Ohio State record, as he's working toward a 200 assist season. All the more remarkable in that Jamar Butler has over 100 himself assists. Deion Harris forced way outside, doesn't bother him a lick. Those are professional threes.
You have to get out there and guard him. I don't know that he has a limit allowed him to stand there and then step into it as he shoots it.
15 for Deion Harris to lead all scorers. Conley setting up his buddy Oden. They've been playing as teammates since the 6th grade. Oden misses that jump hook.
Only defense against that particular play is to hope he misses.
Harris does miss from 3-point range. Butler from Conley, unable to connect.
Michigan played very well in transition in the first half, but they do not want to get in a track meet with Ohio State.
Inside to Sims, blocked by Oden, but a foul. Is it on Ivan Harris or on the big man Oden?
It's on Harris.
And that'll be his 3rd. He picked up 2 in the first minute and a half of the game and sat out much of the first half.
This is a great screen by Smith that puts Oden off balance, frees Sims up on the inside. Fortunate for Ohio for that foul.
It looked as if he raised his hand as if he thought it was on him. Sims from the line on the season, 72.9%.
Sadmana having a little conversation there with Rick Hartzell.
Sims misses both, but Petway had the rebound for a moment. Here come the Buckeyes down by 4. Finally, does he ever get to the hoop? Oh my.
He is so quick, and everybody says, you know, you have to play off of him to make sure he doesn't drive, but it doesn't matter how far off of him you play, he still drives to the basket.
This is Dad, gold medal and silver medalist in the triple jump in the Olympic Games. Sims has it picked off, gets it back, and Jarrett Smith back outside to Lester Abram. Harris driving against Oden, and that's a good no call.
He just lost the ball. You don't want to bail somebody out. The ball's flying out of their hands. Conley just goes right by. You know, how do you guard that?
It's a natural lefty, as you saw. He used the left hand there, but he won the game last week on a right-handed runner. Inside, he's just as proficient with the right hand. Butler takes it to the iron. And up.
One of the things that's very important for Michigan to do is prevent that penetration by Ohio State, because if Sims has to go help, that leaves Oden free.
Oden 4 for 5 now and 8 points in the game.
Took 2 shots in the entire first half, Dick. He's already taken 3 in this one.
I think Monta might have suggested that. Harris feeds inside to Sims at Oden right there. Here's Smith. That walk and a whistle. Out of bounds to Michigan. Fans wanted a foul on Oden.
Oden's just going to follow this play down the lane. Sims is guarding Oden. He leaves to go help. Nobody blocks out.
Watch out, Amaker may get a technical. I believe he already did. He came jumping off the bench, and he has picked up a tee.
Boy, he's mad. This is what got him angry here. As Sims drives to the basket, I think that was Harris that came in from behind and slapped the ball away, and Amaker.
But Oden hit him on the shoulder on the follow-through, and it wasn't called. Butler doesn't get the free throw, and here's the second technical.
Dick, after that ball's already been blocked away out of bounds, I don't think an official's going to call a foul.
Butler gives Ohio State a lead. They led rarely, up to 3 points at first half. Michigan enjoyed an 8-point advantage.
This is a situation where Michigan has to be careful and maintain their poise. They've done a nice job holding Ohio State at bay throughout the entire game. Now, however,
well, Amaker's in a fight because it's been a very heavy weight that Amaker has carried in his career. 6 years here. He took over a program that was minus a couple of recruits for 2 years on probation. He wants to get to the tournament and justify his as the head man here in Ann Arbor, and has been under a lot of heat from fans and the press.
There just isn't anything like patience in big-time basketball today. And Tommy Amaker now in his 6th season. His team hasn't been to the NCAA tournament, and that is a topic of discussion and criticism for Tommy Amaker.
They're checking the shot clock here. Amata requesting that. I'll tell you, this young man at 41 was a great player at Duke under Coach Krzyzewski, and if you person to run your program, Michigan has found it in Amaker.
Well, this is his 6th season. He hasn't been to the NCAA tournament. Gary Williams in his 6th season at Maryland hadn't been to an NCAA tournament. So sometimes it takes a while, particularly when your program is mired with probation.
Shot clock down to 6. Petway inside, and Oden got him, and that's number 3 on Oden.
Now with that foul called on Oden, Tommy Amaker's going to put his coat back on, Dick.
Against the big opponent that'll make you feel more comfortable. I'm going to dress up, says Amaker.
That time Michigan, as they did in a lot of the first half, just attacked the basket. They have not been intimidated by Oden's presence in there. They've gone inside and had some success.
Petway ties it at 38. In comes Matt Terwilliger, the 6'8 junior. Out goes Oden. Back in dressing form is Mr. Amaker. It's them both, and Michigan's back in front. 7 points for Brent Petway in his final home game as a Wolverine. Butler to Conley. And a man. Terwilliger comes off the bench and fires. Well short.
Ohio State goes back into that zone, Dick.
And with Oden out of there, one would figure you'd try to get it into Sims in the post. Terwilliger doing a good job on it.
It's not real good movement at the moment by Michigan against the zone.
8-7 on the shot clock. There is Sims.
Well, maybe you ought to be on the other side of the court there.
4 points for Courtney Sims in his home finale. Conley. Sims. Harris. Batted out by Petway and saved by Smith. Is that a backcourt? Nope. It was touched by a Buckeye. And Harris, ball kicked out of bounds. And with that, a timeout. So, fired by the emotions of their head coach. Michigan reclaims the lead by 3.
I can feel a change a-coming, start anew. Change, change, a change will do you good.
Michelob Light.
crafted with noble European aroma hops for a full-flavored light beer as distinctive as the bottle itself. Distinct by design.
We knew the 2007 Motor Trend Truck of the Year would be a tough act to follow. So we took the lead instead. Introducing the most powerful heavy duty on the planet, the all-new Silverado HD.
Did you have a color in mind?
Red. It's got a real nice feel and great for cutting through metal.
Okay.
Lately, a lot of NCAA basketball fans are shopping at Lowe's.
I need a blender. How is that one?
Because right now, when you make a purchase at Lowe's, you automatically get a chance to instantly win a trip to the 2008 NCAA Men's Final Four and be on the floor as the winners cut down the net. Or you could win one of millions of Lowe's prize cards. Get in the game today at Loving Together.
It's time to play.
Basketball, eh?
Great food, cold beer.
Totally awesome atmosphere.
Hooters and basketball. It's a natural. Firecracker shrimp, ice cold beer.
Great new seafood. Get it all here.
Aw, Dick.
We thought you had game.
What do you have to say for yourself?
Hooters is awesome, baby, and I'm a prime-time player. I love it so much, I think I'll stay here.
Nice save.
Plunge into a new Water Rapids could be the most dangerous challenge yet.
Oh, my God.
New Amazing Race All-Stars, CBS Sunday.
4.5 minutes gone, second half. Michigan by 3. A reminder at the end of today's game, we'll select the Chevrolet player of the game from each team. In recognition, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university. America's brand supports America's best. Chevy, an American revolution. Well, since it's spring break, the University of my band providing the music here. The old-timers haven't lost their touch or tune as well.
Well, they're not all old-timers, Dick. One member of that band is a graduate from last year. The oldest, is a graduate from 1960. So
they get a good seat for a very crucial game here in Ann Arbor.
I actually talked to the band director before the game. He said this is the 16th year they've done this when the regular band can't be there.
Jared Smith outside. And can't score. Sims battles. And Smith gets it back for the Wolverines.
Smith has done a really nice job controlling the game for Michigan. Cook got poked in the eye. And the last time these two teams played, Dick, Jared Smith was out with an injury.
Back in the game now for Ohio State will be number 14.
Sims is really battling inside against Cook. And as he reaches for the ball, you can see his right hand, he just sticks him right in the eye.
So Jamar Butler take a seat on the Buckeye bench. 30 on the shot clock. Abram has been quiet, the three-time captain, first ever in Michigan history. They had that honor 3 years. Takes it inside, and it's blocked.
Too much dribbling.
Othello Hunter is good, too. Quickly to the other end of the Buckeyes. 3-point lead, Michigan. Out there in the runner, but Terwilliger had it, but it came down with the ball out of bounds. Now Michigan against number 1. They've defeated a number 1 ranked team only once. And that's in 18 tries.
And if they get number 2 today, this guy right here with the ball, Jared Smith, is going to have to continue handling it. He's done a nice job preventing turnovers where they want it to go. Now Terwilliger going to get called for the foul pushing against Sims.
We mentioned that Michigan against number 1, defeating a number 1 ranked team only once. That was in December 10 years ago when Brian Ellerby's Wolverines beat the Duke Blue Devils here in Ann Arbor. Michigan 1-17 all time against number 1 ranked teams, and an opportunity again today. They lost to number 1 UCLA earlier this season out in Southern California.
The team last day of the regular season is a pretty good time to do it. That sticks in everybody's mind, particularly people on the NCAA tournament selection committee.
You bet. Abram with a solid drive. That had some muscle on it. 4 points for the captain.
Scored the first couple of points of the game from the free throw line, and that's really the first time we've heard from him since.
Conley gets inside but can't get the ball to the big man. Hunter comes out to use his frame as a pick.
See how far off Conley they play.
How quickly he gets off his feet. Hits the right-hander. That's not his natural side.
He shoots almost 60% on 2-point opportunities.
6 points for Conley and a foul outside against Ohio State.
Fouls against Conley. Here's Abrams. This is the senior, the fifth-year senior, Lester Abrams. It's the freshman from Ohio State on the other end. You start backing off of him because he's so quick, you don't want him to go by. That is a nice little floater with the offhand in the lane over the center for the Michigan Wolverines.
Conley picked up that last foul, his third, but stays in the game. Ron Coleman comes in for Michigan, as does the big guy, Udo.
Big lineup in the game now for them.
Here's Udo from outside. Out there
shooting the ball from.
Conley to Lighty.
Michigan doing a nice job getting back, not allowing many transition baskets, and Court's not that wide.
Lighty was on the line, sideline, out of bounds to Michigan. So Hunter and Harris and Conley all with 3 now for the Buckeyes.
Back into the game now for your
Wolverines with 2 fouls.
Michigan doing a very nice job in this game so far, making Ohio State play against their set defense. Not very many transition opportunities for the Buckeyes.
So Javon Shepard, the sophomore from Canada, comes in for Michigan.
Man-to-man.
Mostly non-starters now on the floor now for Tommy Amaker, with the exception of Courtney Sims now with the ball in the post. Around offensive foul, he hooked. Did Sims as he made his move to the basket. Third on him. A reminder, tomorrow on CBS, an unwed mother was sent away, discovers a secret, and never comes back. You won't want to miss a new episode of Cold Case tomorrow on CBS. Conley and the Buckeyes down by 3 with 12 minutes and change remaining in the second half. Hunter from outside. Othello, Hunter. That was a due. 42. 8 points for Hunter.
I think this is a critical part of the game for Michigan. They should have been sort of stuck on 43 for a while. This is the type of a situation where Ohio State has gone on runs all year long.
Shepard pulls up. Hunter saves and travel to Michigan with a timeout. 11:49 remaining in the second half. CBS Sports will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
Hey, head to the side, seat back low. When you see me riding away, I'm in my Chevy ride slow. I'm in my Chevy ride slow.
Nice ride, homie. I'll trade you.
Chevy Impala SS, an American revolution.
Rules of Engagement. Mondays on CBS. Introducing the all-new Mitsubishi Outlander. Out everything. Everything.
I was walking down the street. I saw the poster.
Want to get more out of Medicare? Call HealthSpring. HealthSpring is for people on Medicare and covers prescription drugs, doctors, hospital care, and more, all for no premium. They take a personalized approach. It's like having a friend there to help you figure things out. Then they hit it out of the park by covering your yearly checkups. Oh yeah, now that's a heck.
666-317-4123 today.
People with type 2 diabetes are needed for an important clinical study of an investigational medication. To participate, you must be between 18 and 77, not taking medication for diabetes, and not on insulin. Qualified participants may receive at no cost study-related medical care, investigational medication, evaluations, and lab work. Medical insurance is not necessary. Please call 800-651 to find out more.
CSI Miami, tonight at 10:35 on CBS 2 Chicago.
We're back in Ann Arbor. Now the countdown to the Big Ten tournament presented by Cisco. 5 days before it all begins in Chicago. As you look at the potential bracket, because Indiana has to play tonight. Indiana, if they win, be the number 3. Michigan, if it wins today, will be the 6th. If they lose, they'll be number 8. The top half pretty much set. Ohio State, the king of the Big Ten Conference again this year, 2 years in a row for Thad Matta's Buckeyes. Michigan by 1 with 11:40 to go.
And it's been almost 3 minutes since Michigan has scored. Very dangerous to have a stretch like that against Ohio State, the #1 scoring team in the Big Ten.
There's Deion Harris after he was given a couple of minute rest. Harris on the drive, gets the hook, +1. Give it to your star.
That's the way you stop a run. And particularly that's the way you stop a drought. We talked before the game about Harris. He's a guy that can score from outside. We've seen that, but he's also very strong and very effective off the dribble.
Butler with a foul, his 3rd. Looking for his 18th point, Harris. He doesn't.
Michigan has to maintain its intensity on the defensive end. An interesting matchup here. Shepard, noted for his defense, matched up against Conley.
Lightning quick. Butler can't hit the 3. It would have tied it. And Udo gets the rebound.
That's a great rebound by Udo. He slapped it away from Hunter and then chased it down. Petway walked.
Yeah, Petway shuffled his feet before. Here comes Greg Oden back in for Ohio State. Terwilliger out and Hunter out. Lewis also back in.
Actually, this is Ohio State starting lineup back in the game, Dick.
Butler, Conley, Harris, Oden, and Hunter all with 3 fouls for Ohio State. Driving move is there for Ivan Harris. Harris with his first points of the game.
And Harris is a guy that can score points in bunches. What his teammates call him microwave because he can really heat up the offense. Yeah,
especially outside shooting. Inside Petway.
That was an impossible catch and an even harder shot, Dick. How did he do that?
Especially to get it over Oden. When they're down that deep.
Oden, I think, has to be a little cautious.
Oden goes down, and the whistle.
Petway's a guy that has had some success on the inside. That ball went through a couple of pairs of hands, and then finally to Petway. No hesitation. Hooks it right up over Oden.
Here comes Courtney Sims back in for Michigan, replacing Udo. It's Ohio State's ball out of bounds underneath the basket. And back in for Michigan, Captain Lester Abram for 47-44. Michigan with the lead over top-ranked Ohio State. We're in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Crisler Arena sold out. Greg Odom sets up his pal Conley. Can't tie it.
Conley doesn't take very many threes, doesn't make very many, doesn't shoot a very high percentage. If you're Michigan, that's what you want Conley to do, shoot it from out there.
3 for 16 outside the arc. And there's Petway with that little jumper.
Really high on that shot. Dick, I don't know that I've ever seen anybody shoot that little jump hook when they're jumping that high.
He's got a 42-inch vertical, does Petway. And his ball's almost out of his hands halfway up the jump. 11 points for Petway. Oden with a jump hook, well short.
Well, Thad Matta thinks he got hit on the elbow.
Yeah, like most big men, officials just unconsciously overlook Some fouls on the big man.
Shaded by short people. Now, there weren't short people involved there except for Smith. That was a perfect pass over Odom.
They're on their feet in Ann Arbor, celebrating the Wolverines lead up to 7. Petway sparking this run by the Wolverines with a couple of jumpers. And then Sims with a payoff inside over Odom.
Where can you get a 3-course line? Right in the neighborhood with Applebee's 3-course combos. Like Fiesta Lime Chicken with appetizer and dessert starting at $9.99. Only at Applebee's.
There's a new pulse in the world. Oral-B Pulsar. A whole new kind of manual brush. Micropulse bristles pivot and pulse deep between teeth for a truly superior clean. Oral-B Pulsar.
This is our country.
After 89 years in the making, this is our truck. The 2007 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. The all-new Chevy Silverado.
Between my two phone bills, it's probably about $60 a month.
About $150.
Probably $100 a month.
$99 a month for unlimited local and long distance. Call now and get 1 month free, including free calls to the U.S., Canada, Puerto Rico, and Europe. And all the cool features you could ever want are included. Over 20 in all. That's a savings of up to 50% on your phone bill.
Call 1-800-989-4VON.
You are in the heart of bachelor country. You can try to apply for a sex visa, but that only lasts 12 hours.
How I Met Your Mother. Then, if you think you know...
Me and Kat were total opposites.
Think again. The surprising season finale of The Class after How I Met Your Mother, CBS Monday.
CBS Sports College basketball coverage is sponsored by Gatorade, Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you? Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar, eating good in the neighborhood. Applebee's. And by Chevrolet, an American revolution. With producer Bob Monsbach and director Mike Arnold, Dick Enberg with Dan Bonner here at Ann Arbor's Crisler Arena, where the University of Michigan desperately seeking a bid to the NCAA tournament. And Seth Davis saying they're back in the conversation if they win today. Has a 7-point lead over the top-ranked Buckeyes. This game might be compared to that Washington-UCLA game. A top team that comes off a clinching conference win and then going on the road against an opponent very high. And it might be on Courtney Sims inside, and that would be his 4th. Buckeyes, number 2 RPI behind UCLA.
They've just had a tremendous season. Look at their losses down here. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. Those 3 losses at North Carolina, at Florida, at Wisconsin. You know, they conceivably could be 3 of the 4 number 1 seeds. So Ohio State's had a great year, but this is a very difficult environment against a depth.
Ohio State with a terrific resume for sure. Here's Odom inside. Spins away and is fouled. Udo may have gotten him. And Michigan, on the other hand, you know, win would boost that RPI, which is currently at 48. The strength of schedule almost the same. You know, their home record, they have been tough here at Crisler, 17-2.
But one of the things, if you're a team that the committee is looking at carefully, one of the things they're going to look at is your road record. So unless you have a series at home, if you don't get some good wins on the road, that counts against you.
Here's Odom, who has shot his free throws left-handed all season, and shows you that right-handed, he's going to really be tough.
Now imagine that. He's been shooting him right-handed all his life. He only started practicing him left-handed in August. He did those pretty well.
He shoots 62%. Can you imagine?
No.
You have some of these big men that have trouble hitting 50% with their natural side.
So there's guards in this game, but in a game of college basketball that don't hit 50% of their free throws.
9 seconds to go on the clock, and way off the mark on that attempt was Udo.
After that timeout, Ohio State seems to have a little bit more offensive energy.
Oden fouled inside. Now they're getting the ball to the big man, and that could change the complexion of this game in a hurry.
Right about that. You wouldn't expect the Ohio State team to be playing hail to the victors. So. But part of the problem for Ohio State today has been the fact that you saw they were only shooting 40% from the field. Michigan has been very effective on the defensive end. Ohio State now trying to punch the ball inside to Oden.
Yeah, defense, and of course Amaker was the National Defensive Player of the Year back at Duke in his time, and that's how he teaches the game. Oden. 3 in a row from that right side, and now 11 points in the game for Greg Oden.
I think as he becomes more and more comfortable with that right hand, you'll see a little 8 to 12-foot jump shot that's pretty effective as well, and that's scary.
A beautiful rotation on the shot. So 12 for Oden. Michigan's 7:45 to go.
Harris. You can't leave him.
Oden clears.
Harris was surprised he was that open.
I think he thought he had the shot too. He just kind of hesitated and it kicked out.
Well, Jarrett Smith has actually done a pretty nice job preventing Mike Conley from going where he wants to go.
That's a nice drive and a basket. And shooting the baseline, Lewis, who's been quiet for the last 10 minutes or so, now with 14 to lead the Buckeyes. 51-50 with 7 to go.
Just a perfect example of how many weapons the Buckeyes possess.
Abram open for 3. Just wouldn't go down. Scramble and Petway saves. Abram inside and a blocking foul on Ivan Harris, the senior from Springfield, Ohio.
A lot of talk on the Ohio State team, around the Ohio State team about the freshman, but here's the senior, Ron Lewis, just taking the ball hard to the basket. Part of the problem is if you come and help against him, force him to miss the shot, Oden is right there for the rebound.
6th team foul on Ohio State, so Michigan will go to the line after this point. 5 team fouls on Michigan, 4 of those in the game on that man, Courtney Sims, who returns.
Ohio State has scored the last 6 points.
Well, look at Conley leap to deflect that ball out of bounds. He said that in high school he wasn't a serious jumper like his dad, but he did long jump 22 feet.
Well, that was a pretty good high jump right there.
That Mata saying as a kid, when he was about 10 years old, he saw Mike Conley Sr., the eventual Olympic gold medalist, in a high school basketball final, leave the foul line and make a two-handed dunk, which I want to recruit that man's son. How small the world. It all happens for Mata. They have the turnover, and that'll give Ohio State a chance with 6.5 to go to reclaim the lead. It's been Michigan most of the time in front.
Now, this is maybe the start of one of those Ohio State runs we were talking about. They're on a 6-0 run right at the moment. But not a good decision by Harris on that last play. He should have shot that ball.
Michigan was leading 51-44, now to 51-50. Inside to Oden, back out to Conley. What a pass. Good ball movement by the Buckeyes. 6-5, and it's Smith. Terrific defense to Abram, and look at the hustle by Jamar Butler to break up a sure goal.
Boy, a nice play by Jarrett Smith. We talked about how well he's played on the defensive end, but Butler just runs that down. Butler, another one of those guys. Good strength. The State really has guys who can run.
Outside as Sims moves out of the post to help the inbounds. Full clock.
Michigan really needs a basket.
Well, there's the man to get it. Harris, Deion Harris inside. Little 8-footer. And he now has 19 to lead all scorers.
Didn't give it up that time, Dick. He took it in there, very similar to the last situation, only that time he took the shot.
Mata was the strength of the Michigan Wolverines. 4 of them on the floor. 3-point game.
Matching up in the zone.
quickly to Butler, to Conley. And he ties it up. A much-needed 3 for the Buckeyes. 9 points for Conley.
Talked about the fact that he's only a 32% shooter from out there. But he's capable of making big baskets. Ohio State in the man-to-man.
To Sims working on Oden. And the foul. This is a big whistle. It's on Oden.
Harris getting the basket for Michigan, a basket they sorely needed just with his power on the inside. Now you get a guy driving the baseline in Butler. Remember, he was the point guard last year for Ohio State, and he finds the open man. Not a lot of help given for Oden. Oden plays behind the guys and tries to block their shots, and Sims the foul.
Courtney Sims 0 for 2 from the line today. That's his 7th point. And Michigan back in front by 1.
Sims actually a pretty good free throw shooter on the year, Nick, 73%. And you can expect that if Oden stays in the game, they will try to go after him. Get the ball inside to Sims.
Sometimes that can turn around and bite you.
Yes. It'll be interesting to watch as Sims makes the second one, Dick, whether or not, if Michigan does, Ohio State helps Oden by trying to double team.
Terrific game. 4:45 to go. The nation's #1 Ohio State against Michigan, hungry for a tournament bid. And Oden takes it inside the time at 55. And a timeout called by Thad Matta. He wants a 30-second timeout with 4:37 to go. And the 7-footer Greg Oden, late stages, starting to dominate.
Special agent, they're trying to stop you from saving time and money on auto insurance. Here's the play.
Quote by print. Got it, Coach.
When there's only seconds on the clock, Esurance gives you a fast break.
From all the hassle of buying auto insurance, you don't have to jump through hoops.
At Esurance, instant comparison quotes let you screen prices yourself.
So you can net yourself some savings.
It's a slam dunk. Save time and money on auto insurance. Visit Esurance.com.
We're back in Ann Arbor. If you think FEMA is the first to respond when disaster strikes, you've never met David Canther and his volunteers. Monday on the CBS Evening News with Katie Couric.
Foul trouble, of course, a big factor in this game. Oden and Harris both with 4 personal fouls. Hunter with 3 personal fouls. Those are the 3 main guys along the Ohio State front line. And I think the reason Thad Matta called that timeout was to get Oden out of the game for the defensive possession.
And the big man Courtney Sims with 4 for Michigan stays in the game. Tied at 55. Long bomb by Smith. Jarrett Smith. He has 10.
He has really played well. You know, he doesn't shoot the ball so much, Dick, as he slings it. That's a very funny motion, but he's had success today.
But he's been the most accurate three-point shooter on the season, 37%. Othello Hunter misses. Abram clears. Here comes Michigan.
Quickest shot in that possession by Hunter.
4 minutes to go. Sims inside, and he's fouled by Terwilliger. You think Greg Oden's presence isn't a critical factor in this game? He goes out. Michigan gets 5 points in a wink of an eye. Get a win at home. Then the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament Championship. Southern Illinois has booked passage to the final, and that'll be followed by, well, Duke and North Carolina in Game 3. A great day again. Basketball on CBS tomorrow. At the line for Michigan, Courtney Sims. Thad Matta's Buckeyes have fallen behind by 5, with Oden taking a seat after his 4th foul. Sims completes the 3-point play. Michigan's biggest lead, 8. That was in the first half. They're up by 6 now with 3:50 to go. Conley takes it inside and scores. Almost seems as if he can do it at will.
They're so concerned about Oden. Oden comes out to the top to set the screen, and everybody's concerned about him, and Conley just blows right by.
Oden with 4 fouls. The man he's guarding, Sims, with 4 for Michigan.
has 4 fouls, and Petway's been very effective inside for Michigan. Let's see if maybe they don't throw the ball to him.
Deion Harris. Inside to Sims. Battling with Oden. Knocked away.
There's that double team we talked about, forced Sims to give up the ball, and Michigan didn't execute.
And Lewis with a steal. Inside to Oden.
Oh, he is such a...
Those 19-size boots of his, but he's awfully light-footed.
He works very, very hard, uses his body well without picking up a lot of fouls. I know he's got 4 today.
16 points to lead the Buckeyes now for Sims. For Oden, rather. Here's Sims. Blocked by Oden. He had 7 blocks in the first game against Michigan.
This is just a great play inside by Oden on the other end of the court. He just doesn't push, doesn't shove, just maintains his position. When you're 7 feet tall, you can maintain your position close to the basket. Good things happen.
They double team Sims in the corner. He has to use a timeout. It comes with 2 minutes, 31 seconds to go. And Michigan leading top-ranked Ohio State by a basket.
Yeah, with Vonage, I've had 100% reliability. It's been there when I needed it. I've never had a clear phone.
The clearness of the line is phenomenal.
The voice quality with Vonage,
the call quality is great. Nobody asks, hey, are you on VoIP? You know, nobody knows.
It's just $24.99 a month for unlimited local and long distance. Call now and get 1 month free, including free calls to the U.S., Canada, Puerto Rico, and Europe.
Call 1-800-989-4VON.
Look ahead, fans, to tomorrow night. 60 Minutes starts it off. One of the most respected money men in America has a message about the future that you can't afford to miss. That'll be followed by new episodes of The Amazing Race, all and Without a Trace. That's all tomorrow night on CBS, America's #1 network. And here in Ann Arbor, America's #1 college basketball team, Ohio State, trailing Michigan by 2. Under 2.5 to go.
Shot clock almost out.
A steal by Butler. Here's Conley with a hesitation on the dribble. Gives it up to Lewis. And Lewis is fouled by Abram.
And you know, particularly in the second half, turned it over that much. Or excuse me, Michigan hasn't really turned it over that much to Ohio State. You give them the ball and they can get transition. They're really, really good.
Lester Abram has his 4th foul for Michigan. And Ron Lewis hits the first of 2. This one to tie. Senior. He's their #3 scorer, 11 a game. And ties it at 61.
The last couple of Michigan has tried to go inside to Sims. It hasn't worked.
We chatted about Dan Bonner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Too eager to try to get that 5th foul. There's Deion Harris. He can't hit the 3. Batted out by Conley. 2-on-1. Butler gives the Buckeyes the lead.
What a play by Conley. What presence of mind. Just tip the ball ahead and then go run it down and make a great pass.
And a couple of Wolverines had the angle on it, but he was too quick. Got there. And it's a Buckeyes off the bench as they have the lead with less than 2 minutes to go. Look at the speed of Conley.
Someone ordered some pizza. Look at that cheese, baby. What a game, baby. The delivery man right now is on fire. Denied by the delivery man. The delivery man from the key. He's on fire.
Watch it. It's not delivery. For fresh baked taste, there's only one game in town. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno. You could win NCAA Final Four tickets and more. Visit DiGiorno.com or see specially marked packages for details.
Ohio State trailing by as much as 8 in the first half and by 6 here in the second half, rallying to take the lead with 1:52 to go. Timeouts, team fouls, even, and the arrow belongs to Michigan.
Another mini run by Ohio State, an 8-0 run. They were down 61-55. Now Michigan has to respond. This is a critical possession.
Smith to Petway. Harris maneuvering, trying to get open for one of his patented jumpers. 15 seconds on the clock.
Butler really staying close to Harris.
Petway to Sims.
Oh, he misses the dunk!
And just with Oden's very presence there, and every coach talks about it. The easiest of shots are missed.
He could have just easily laid that in, Dick. I think by trying to dunk it, he made it a more difficult shot.
On senior day here at Michigan in his final home game. Oden, bad pass by Conley. He doesn't make many. He leads the Big Ten turnover assist ratio well over 3 to 1.
There's that missed dunk, and again, I think he could have very easily laid that in, but by trying to dunk it, he sort of threw himself off balance. My heavens.
1 minute left. Michigan with a ball, trailing by 2.
Boy, Butler is hanging all over Harris.
Had to fight off Ivan Harris. Harris on Harris. Reach-in foul is on Ron Lewis. And for Lewis, his second.
Harris really working hard. Lewis comes in, and
boy, that looked like he got all ball.
Well, that's what Lewis is claiming.
At the line, Deion Harris, one of the 4 seniors, saying goodbye to Ann Arbor in this, the last regular season game. Looks for his 20th point. Oh, a big miss, and he's an 85% free throw shooter. That was the 2-shot opportunity to tie it. 40 seconds to go.
And now they have to get a stop.
About a 12-13 second difference in game and shot clocks.
Which is plenty of time, but if you're going to run it all the way down like this, you've got to play scores. It'll be tough.
Conley. Not there, but the rebound goes to Lewis. Harris, rather. And
they got a foul.
And they do here. Harris commits the foul to stop the clock at 10 seconds. What a critical rebound. Ivan Harris, who's had a quiet afternoon, but comes up with a key offensive board.
And this is just a long rebound. Everybody concerned about Blockway go right to Oden. And that left Harris all alone for the long rebound.
To the line, Jamar Butler. He's their best free throw shooter, 84.6. And now this next free throw, absolutely critical, would make it a 2-possession game. Boy, how Coleman in.
How disappointing if Michigan ends up losing this game. The missed dunk by Sims, the missed free throw by Harris, the 2 seniors.
Unanswered points at the end of the game by the Buckeyes. Oh, and now the turnover, and this is just frosting on the Buckeye cake as the game is over. You've seen why Ohio State is #1 in deep trouble, down by 8 late in the game. They close it out with 10 unanswered points, and Thad Matta's Ohio State Buckeyes win it 65-61. And today's Chevrolet players of the game. Greg Oden, second half was outstanding, 6 for 8. Oden leaders in his final home game for Michigan, 19 for the Wolverines. In recognition, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university. America's brand supports America's best. Chevy, an American Revolution. For Dan Bonner, Dick Enbert, so long from Ann Arbor and Crisler Arena, where our final score again. #1 Ohio State 65, Michigan 61. The Buckeyes win their 13th straight conference game. Tonight on CBS, it's NCIS, followed by Cold Case and 3. So long from Ann Arbor.